Listen, thanks for coming. I know tight turnaround with the game last night and the weather, so we appreciate you all coming in on a tight turnaround. And as I think I kind of mentioned to you yesterday, usually Steve speaks 20-game mark. We got the road trip next week, but Steve's on his way to Toronto, likely going to deal with some media there. We just wanted to afford you the opportunity to get a chance to chat with him before the other media got a chance to chat with him. So I'll just turn it over and you can fire away with questions.
Maybe just start, Steve, with your early impressions on the start of the year and go from there.
Well, I was a little surprised on our start, to be quite honest. I thought you hope with the continuation of last year, a similar group coming back, same coaching staff, that we would have been on our game early. And I think we've grown into it, playing to our identity more now. But some early stumbles. I thought be quite honest with you, I thought we pissed away some points early on. But feel like we're getting closer to playing to our identity. Full credit to the group.
What do you maybe make sense of that, just in terms of the poor start and how you guys kind of came out of the game?
I wouldn't say it was a poor start. It was just, I think, two things I would point to. I think we have a very well-intended group, and I've stated that a number of times. And they're eager to prove themselves, and they're eager to compete. I want to believe that expectations were one thing that is new to this group. Making the playoffs last year, trying to get to that level right away, I think that might have been part of it. And the other thing is, as much as we talked about our 5-on-5 scoring, I think as you watched our play through the first 4 or 5 games, it seemed like we were a little eager to try and get on the offense, and we're just a little bit disconnected that way. All well intended, though. Our D were kind of moving up the ice, and as I watched game flow, it seemed like we were moving pretty well, but just a little bit disconnected and not playing to our identity.
And what do you make of the team, like seemingly the past couple games, kind of finding the identity?
Definitely getting there. I think you always look at different points of the season, and I think the game against Washington and Boston, we had success putting the puck in the back of the net, and that was all due to our checking. And I think that was sort of the revelation for our group to understand that that's when we're at our best.
Steve, I know you don't use injuries as an excuse, but how much of the loss of Brady in the early stages of the season sort of added to the discombobulation?
Well, I think we've handled it well from the standpoint of I think in the past, the group and the environment around here would have been pointed right towards that. And I think Travis has done a great job of not building in excuses. Obviously, Brady's our captain. He's our leader. He's an impactful player every night. But we wanted to make sure that we took the approach that it's next man up, and we're not going to use that as an excuse. And Brady's done all he can to continue to lead, even with his injury being in and around the group. So credit to the group. We know how much of an impact that he is for us as a team, yet I think our players took it upon themselves to step up and continue to play well.
How would you describe the challenge of this group trying to make up for the fact that he's not in the lineup and the offensive gifts that he has and his physical truculence, of course, and what they've been able to do on the ice without him?
I think the first couple of games you could see our guys were, again, trying to play they're even a little bit more exuberant to try and make sure that we weren't going to miss a step. But I think that the strength is in the group and in the team and the way that we play, the way that we're coached, the commitment, the character of this group. That's our identity. And so I think the first couple of games you could see it, and some players in particular that wanted to take charge and be able to make up for it. And we've learned quickly that the strength is in the group.
Specifically with Tim Stützle, who obviously you wanted everyone on your group to take that step. What have you thought about how not only just generally his start to the season has been and how he's committed to things like an improved face-off rate, but how do you feel he's taken on that responsibility of making up for offense without Brady?
I mean, he's rounding out his game on the other side of the puck as well. That commitment to playing on the defensive side has been sort of the biggest area of growth for him. And as you can see now he's taking pride in being on the penalty kill. And, the penalty kill has changed. I know it's going to be a question, so I may as well get to it. But over the years, you have penalty killers. And those were sort of, certain qualities that they had. And now you're seeing around the league that your top players are going out and killing penalties. Like with Tim, you can see him evolve into that. And he's taking pride in it, and he's got great instinct and speed, and makes it uncomfortable for the power play unit.
What have been your impressions of how Linus Ullmark has started this season?
I believe in Linus. The team believes in Linus. I think if you look at goaltending around the league, some of the top goaltenders go through stretches where they're not, getting the results that they want. Not making excuses, but honestly, I think he's been a little bit unlucky. When you look at some of the goals that have gone in, but he's in better shape than he's ever been in. He's made that commitment, and B, I think you can see that his game is rounding into form. And I think over a long period of time, he's our guy, and we have full faith in him. And good young goaltender in Levi Merilainen, who continues to develop as well.
What kind of goes through your mind as a GM when a couple of players you brought in aren't playing as well as you like? Like Zetterlund, maybe Ullmark so far. Like, how does that change your outlook moving forward as kind of a talent evaluator?
I think the team has improved with both those players in our lineup. And again, I think when you put perspective on it over a season, those players, I love having them on our team. And Z, he's not putting the puck in the back of the net, but the good thing about him is he's an impactful player. He's got a fallback game. He's got a B game, and he gets in on forechecks. He's a heavy body. He's committed to team play. You think eventually, he's got the talent and the ability to put the puck in the net. But in the meantime, it's no different than goaltending. Where you look at all of our players are going to go through stretches, and it's up to us to create the environment where you put perspective on it first of all, but also. Going back to my initial comment, the strength is in the group.
At the quarter mark, is there anything, though, an area that maybe you want to address? I know in speaking to other teams, you're pretty aggressive working the phones.
We're always looking at opportunities to improve the team. Anything specifically, I wouldn't say that. I think that you look at, and timing is, as we've seen, sometimes it's not at the trade deadline or July 1st, and you continue to have discussions and see if there's a fit. This group continues to grow. You look at the standings every day, but it's probably not a good exercise to go through right now, because if you win 2 games or lose 2 games, it's so tight. And especially on our side, not just in our division, but in the Eastern Conference.
How much of maybe the parity affects you in terms of trying to acquire talent at the deadline? Just the fact that every team seems to be in the mix.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to have discussions, because I think everybody is trying to do the same thing and improve their team. Yet we're all so close that it makes it more challenging.
At this stage, where are things at with a contract extension for Shane Pinto?
Continued good dialogue. We're going to meet again this week, and hoping to come up with a positive outcome.
How confident are you that things can come together?
I guess to not say too much. I think you guys respect that I don't like to say too much on contract. I don't think it's fair for the player or the agent or our team. So Shane's a good player. He's an important player. And we'll continue to work on it. Meeting again this week.
There's been a lot made about Jordan Spence and his fit and position in the lineup. When you made the trade with Los Angeles at the draft, where did you envision Jordan Spence in your lineup, and what was the general thinking with having him in the fold?
Well, a lot of it was Nick Jensen went through a major surgery, and he worked his way back into. We didn't know what his timeline was on a return, so we were looking at. We've always liked Jordan as a player. We've kept our eye on him, and to be able to acquire him, I think, was a lot to do with where we didn't know where Nick was going to be. Now, Nick worked extremely hard to get himself back into the opening day lineup, and we have depth in the position, which is a good thing to have. So sometimes these transitions, when you go to new teams, takes a bit of time. There's new systems, there's new environment, but we like Jordan as a player. And
how much dialogue did you have with Travis Green before you made that? So obviously, because you're giving him a player to put in the lineup, but it depends on him how he utilizes the player.
yeah, we talk multiple times a day on all these different situations. We have depth on defense, especially on the right side, and the players that we have gained trust and know the system and know our identity, and sometimes it just takes time, and it's a good problem to have, where you have a player who wasn't in the lineup that can come in and give you those minutes. I think we talk about depth. It's good to have a real NHL player to be able to jump in and play the way he did.
How do you feel about your depth on the left side of defense right now?
We feel good about I think depth is always, I think if you ask every other general manager, you're always wanting to expand your depth on the left side. I think, Sabrango going on waivers hurts the depth on the left side, but we certainly have players that are in Belleville that continue to work, and then we also have the option of some of our rights that can play on the left side as well. So overall, I think we feel fine about our depth, but we'll continue to explore that market.
It looks like
You go ahead.
we hit about the 18-month mark with Coach Travis Green behind the bench. What have you made of his tenure so far as the head coach of this team?
Very good. I think we set out to change a culture and an environment. He's held a high bar of accountability. He's got a great ability to communicate with his players. He's open, he's honest, and he's firm. And the identity of this team, as much as, even to Alex's point, I look at players, and you start to develop an identity to a team and a chemistry to the team. And it's a lot between what the head coach and the general manager, the dialogue that we have leading into it. But I think he's done a very good job.
Not to make you go back to Jordan, but what have you made of how Travis has deployed him throughout this point of the year, where he's been in and out of the lineup? And when he's been in, he's found ways to produce, but clearly Travis wants to have lineups where he is in and other lineups where he has more size with a guy like Monopolo in the lineup. What do you think of how that has gone on?
I think it's the right process to go about it. We're looking at winning every game, and different teams bring different elements. And the detail that our coaching staff goes through to prepare for a game, and looking at what lineup would work, and we're only right when you win. So, but it's the right process to go through it. I fully support them. I have my say. We have our conversations, but it's not these decisions are hard, and it's good to have hard decisions. And but there's a process that we go through. There's a lot of thought put into it, and I agree with the way that they go about it when you look at a lineup to match up against the team that you're playing, because each team brings a little bit of a different challenge.
At this point, is there a chance that you get back your first round pick at the next draft?
I really have no comment on that, unfortunately. It's, yeah.
Steve Hayden Hodgson recalled yesterday, is there an injury update perhaps on either 15 or 23?
No real update. Nothing significant or serious, but good to have players that can come up and play some minutes. And Hayden brings an element of speed and physicality, and I thought he was spot on with following the game plan last night and effective.
Do you have an update on Brady Kachuk? When do you think he?
The same timeline as we talked about, around the 6-week mark. So I know he'd like to move that up. He's putting in the work.
What have been your impressions of Curtis McDermott and his fit in the room, but also what he's been able to give you on the ice?
I like having him on our team. And I think, more importantly, I think you should ask the players on what they think. And I'm not sure if you guys have done that. But, you know, every decision you make, you try and quantify it and how it fits into your group. But I really like having Dermy on our team.
Are you satisfied with what you see in Belleville right now? And are you satisfied with what you see in Belleville right now?
Yeah, pleased with it's competitive. It's a competitive league, and our young guys continue to grow. I think having Matt Turek there has been a nice step forward for our organization with his leadership and making sure the environment is right for development for our players. They're a competitive team. You know, we're maybe a little young, but our young players are getting a great opportunity to play. In particular, like, you know, Carter Yakimchuk and Stephen Halliday and continue to grow. We put them in a lot of situations, almost to the point where we've talked about, you know, Carter playing a little bit too much and the back-to-backs and the 3-and-3s, and you know, we want to continue to put him in those situations and let him learn. But he's been very, very good, and to the point where a number of those players can come up and give us minutes.
Including Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Just Max Gannett hasn't signed a contract. Is there any reason or that you can maybe provide?
I won't get into that. I'm hoping that there's a resolution here soon.
Is that between PA or NHL or what kind of
No.
All set, gang?
Thanks, guys. All right.